People always ask me, Pete, you used to talk about SEO more. We wish you would talk about SEO more. Well, anyways, I'll actually do you one better and share with you my favorite SEO experts and outlets to follow, as well as a few free, cool SEO tools you might not have used there that you should probably check out. First up, Glenn Alsop from detailed.com, the old Viper Chill guy, old school SEO. You should follow Glenn for 3 reasons. Number 1, his detailed Facebook group is hyper active, not just active, hyper active. Other than that, you know when Glenn drops a piece of content, it's going to be good. He only puts out like a few things a year, but when he does, it's like, I need to pay attention to this. So follow him for that. And cool tool alert, his free Chrome extension is absolutely incredible. You can go look it up. It's called Detailed SEO. It's a little thing in Chrome. You just pop it open. It gives you an insane amount of SEO metrics and page speed analysis, and it's absolutely insanely valuable and it's free, so go check that out. Next up, Moz.com, of course. You've probably heard of them before. My favorite part of Moz that I think everybody should follow are the Whiteboard Fridays. It's just so easy, just like a little YouTube video, and they're generally like very clear cut, straight to the point on specific topics. I don't think Moz actually does better content than Whiteboard Fridays. But, and they're no longer free, they were free a few months ago, Academy, Moz's Academy has a bunch of courses that are extremely reasonably priced, and they're probably some of the best SEO courses in the world. If you want to learn SEO from anybody and pay for it, do it from Moz and those guys. They know what they're doing. Next up, Income School. My buddy Jim was on the podcast several months ago. Everybody loves these guys, and I started following them, and I realized why. They're great, especially if you are into niche sites. You should go follow the Income School. Go follow their YouTube channel first and foremost. They put out roughly 1 video a week, and it's always really great content. Love those guys. All right, next up is actually new to me. I asked some people on Twitter, who do you follow for like Google algorithm changes and updates and stuff like that? Like, what's happening? Is something happening? Where do I learn more? Marie Haynes has a podcast called Search News You Can Use, and I've started listening only recently, and it's super solid. I love it. Some of them are longer and some of them are like short bite size, like news updates for SEO. And if you listen to podcasts, go check out Marie Haynes. Next up, a friend of mine, if you're not following him already, you absolutely should be. Brendan Hufford, BrendanHufford.com, and SEOfortherestofus.org/challenge. Cool tool alert. It's like a 5 or 7 day challenge. It's absolutely free. Brendan has support. I'm not saying go bother him and email him, but if you have SEO questions and you're on his newsletter, go take his challenge. He'll respond to your comments and your emails and probably help you out. And there is nobody who is more passionate and fired up about helping people with their SEO than Brendan. I don't know anybody else better than him. Next up, speaking of news, Search Engine Journal. I'm amazed how many bloggers don't follow the SEO news media outlets, newspapers. Search Engine Journal is my favorite. There's also Search Engine Land. I love reading these. They're usually shorter posts. They release like a few posts a day. Like, it's news, it's a media site. Definitely follow them. They're on top of their game when it comes to updates and algorithms and upcoming changes and all sorts of good stuff. Just a few more here. Ahrefs. Yes, I had Tim Solo on my podcast and he said it's pronounced Ahrefs. But I'm gonna recommend 2 things. Number 1, their blog is phenomenal and fantastic, the Ahrefs blog. You can learn a ton there. And their YouTube channel is absolutely incredible as well. So Ahrefs, it's an expensive SEO tool. I use it. If you have the money to pay for it, go pay for it. But even if you don't, their blog and their YouTube channel are absolute fire for learning more about SEO. Next up, former MozCon MC, used to work at Moz. He's done some Whiteboard Fridays. Cyrus Shepard, also been on my podcast. And I'm gonna point you to his Twitter account. You should follow Cyrus on Twitter. First of all, he doesn't just talk about SEO. Like, he's just a funny guy. He's an interesting guy. But he has connections with everybody in the biz who is like way ahead of us on the SEO scale. And every now and then he'll share some other people's resources that are just like mind-blowing to me. So go follow Cyrus on Twitter. Okay, 2 more people you should follow, and these are gonna be slightly weird and controversial. So the first one is your competitors. More specifically, people who are in your niche, in your industry, who are probably driving more traffic from SEO than you currently are. Now, there's a few things you could do here. Obviously, competitor analysis, trying to look at what pages they're ranking for, what posts they're ranking for, what keywords they're ranking for. But I would actually subscribe to their newsletters and just generally take a look at what they are doing. What content are they producing and when? How many times a week? What do their menu bars look like? Follow your competitors in your niche who are already ahead of you on the SEO scale and just pay attention to what they're doing. You might be surprised what you learn every couple of weeks, every couple of months. You might get some ideas to grow your own blogging business. And the last person I'm going to tell you to follow, I'm going to give you some cool tools here in a second, is me. Especially if you're a beginner SEO, you go to take my free email course. There's no pitches at the end of it. It's called 60-Minute SEO. And also, I don't talk a whole lot about SEO at the moment, but you know what I do talk about? Capitalizing on that SEO traffic to make more money through affiliate marketing and digital products and funnels and email marketing. That's my jam. So yeah, hashtag comment, hashtag smash like buttons and subscribe to YouTube channel. Okay, let me throw a few tools at you. Number one, checking for broken links on your site. This is an ugly website, but brokenlinkcheck.com. I've been using them for probably about 3 years. It's super ugly, but it's free and it works. Next up, and feel free to slam me in the comments because some people don't approve of this little plugin, Link Whisper by Spencer Hawes. In fact, I have a review video. You can go watch it in action right here. I still love this tool. If you know how to use internal links for SEO, as in you have a brain about you, you've learned about it a little bit, this can drastically save you a huge amount of time when it comes to building internal links for SEO. Go check them out. And speaking of getting slammed in the comments again, I'm gonna do it anyways. Keywords everywhere. Yes, it used to be free, now it's not. Now it's paid, but it's so cheap. I paid $10 a year and a half ago for 100,000 Keywords Everywhere credits, and I have like 95,000 left. It's like a year and a half. It's super cheap. It's awesome. No, you can't trust the exact search volumes that you'll see on Google or Answer the Public or something, but you can get a rough idea and it'll help you plan out your topics. And that's another tool that you probably already heard of, but answerthepublic.com. It's great for just typing in some keywords and getting some ideas for blog posts, questions that are being asked that you can include in your post and all that sort of stuff. Okay, only two more, and you've already heard of them. Google Search Console. It's so silly. People discount it because it's free, but there's an insane amount of useful data in there for checking out your backlinks, running through internal links. Diagnosing errors is still a huge part of running an optimized site, and of course, Google Search Console is what you should be using for that. It's incredibly free. Go use it. And speaking of stuff that you've already heard of, but you probably don't use enough, Haro, help a reporter out for getting backlinks. It's still viable for, I don't know how many years they've been doing this for now. And bloggers say that, it takes a lot of time. I don't always get backlinks, like that sort of stuff. Well, you don't always get backlinks from a lot of stuff. And this seems to be low-hanging fruit. And if you can systematize your outreach to Haro responses and stuff like that, like create some snippets with a link to your bio and your headshots so you don't have to go copy and paste every time, and then you can just, boom, quickly respond to these like little requests. It can actually pick you up a few backlinks with not a whole lot of effort. All right, these last two are cop-outs, but in case you want to know more, if you went to Google and you searched SEO tools or free SEO tools, you're gonna get a lot of results because let's be honest, SEO is a fierce SEO category. But my favorite are Moz.com. I'll link to it below. They have an incredible list of free tools, and we've already mentioned them again. Ahrefs has another incredible blog post, and you can actually find these on page 1 of Google if you searched free SEO tools, but I'll link to them below. They have a ton of really interesting things you've never heard of. Go check those out right there. So no, I don't talk a ton about SEO traffic the past 6 months or more, but I am helping you grow a blog and a business, so you should continue to follow me. I'll link to these resources below. If you love this video, smash the whatever, just comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear your favorite tools. If you have any that I missed and you want to just slam them, link them in the comments, I would love to hear them. So go do that. Watch some more of my YouTube videos. Help me out in the YouTube SEO algorithms. And that's all I got, Blog Tribe. We'll see you next time. Adios.